Alright, today we are going to try to install a toilet. I'm not a plumber by any means, but this is a pretty simple task, and we'll show you how it's done, okay? First we're going to start by showing you the hole in the floor, which is what the toilet sits on. There'll be a wax ring that goes around the hole, and that's what seals the bottom of the toilet. This is the main water line, and it's basically just one hose that connects the water line to the toilet. A couple bolts that hold it down, hold it tight to the floor, and that's pretty much it. So first you start by removing your old toilet, cleaning everything up, getting everything all ready and prepped, which we already have here. And then we can start by getting a wax ring. This is a wax ring, looks like. You buy this at any hardware store. Just take all the plastic off it. And you can get two styles of wax rings. One has the plastic on it, which sits in the hole, and then you could also get just the actual wax. Depending on the type of floor and how flush the plate is to the floor, you could either use one wax or two wax rings. If you've put a new floor in and the base of the toilet is below the tile, you might need to put one piece of wax in and then put another wax on top of it before you put the toilet on it, just to make up that space. So we'll go ahead, we'll put in the wax in the hole here. Just drop it in, pretty simple. And there you have it. The actual toilet will sit on top of this, and it will squish the wax ring down, and it'll make a tight seal underneath the toilet. Okay. So now we have the toilet, and I don't know, this is a pretty small washroom, so we have the toilet, and I don't know if we can show you the bottom of the toilet. This is what you are gonna sit the wax ring on. We got that? So you see the hole, that's your flush, and you'll see the flat surface around it. That's what you're gonna fit your wax ring on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that now. You gotta be very careful. Toilets are very heavy. Watch you don't hurt yourself. Watch you don't drop it and break it. Okay, so here we go, carrying the toilet over. We're gonna line it up with the two tightening bolts on either side. And simple as that. Toilet's on. Let it sit there for a bit. That's it, pretty simple. Now we'll go ahead and we'll start to tighten the toilet down. This is the most important part that you really have to watch, because the toilets are made out of porcelain, so you don't want to tighten it too far because you will crack it. So start by putting the washers on. There's a plastic washer, usually comes with the toilet. Another one on the other side. Then there's a couple more washers that you can put on top, just so that you can tighten it down and it doesn't squish the plastic. So you have one washer here, and that serves as holding the toilet down, and it also serves to put your cap on top of it. Put your cap on top of it so that it covers the bolt after you're done. You also have a couple other washers, and you just put those on top like so before you put it down on the toilet. And this way it doesn't squish this plastic ring here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright. So now that all is left is to put a couple of the nuts on. Tighten those on by hand first. And then just get yourself a wrench. Start tightening those up evenly. Like I said, this is a real important that you don't over tighten these, because the porcelain of the tank will crack. So as long as the toilet doesn't shake, we should be good. This one's just a little loose yet, so give it a little more. Tighten it up. Like I said, this is the part that always worries me, is how tight it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll keep it at that for now. We could always tighten it more later if it starts to settle in as you use it. Here's the caps. They look like half eggs. You just press those over top and it just gives it a nice finish over the bolt. And away we go. Next is hooking up the water line. That is also a simple task. Just gonna grab the water line here, and then we will put that on. Bring the camera on the other side so that we can actually see it. This is what the water line looks like. So you got the big side that goes up into the toilet, and you got the small side that goes into the plumbing from the floor. Okay, so we'll start with putting it on in the floor. I'll try to get on this side so that we don't, we can actually see it. Can we see it there?
Yep.
So we'll start, just always start it by hand. Don't have to tighten it too much. Then the other side, and depending on the toilet, every toilet's different. Some are easier to access than others. The other side, I will have to see what I'm doing here. And like I said, always start everything by hand because you don't want it cross-threading. And you know if it cross-threads because it gets real tight, real quickly. Okay, so I think it's tight on the toilet side. Now again with my wrench, I will tighten the line on the other side. See it now?
Yep.
Okay. So just, you don't want to over tighten this. There's a big rubber seal in there so that it will tighten. But if you over tighten it, you may snap the actual fitting. So take a look at it. Nice and snug. And that's it. This toilet is installed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the water just to make sure that there's no leaks and that everything works fine. Okay, just to go back a little bit before we put the toilet seat on, I'm just going to show you the line that goes into the toilet, and it's back here. I don't know if you can see my finger or not. It's basically just a plastic fitting, and you have your big plastic connector from the hose. You just basically put that on and turn it, screw it down real tight, and that's it. And that connects the water line from the floor to the wall to the toilet. Okay. Okay, now the plumbing is done, the toilet's seated onto the floor, and we're pretty much ready to turn on the water. Hopefully we don't have any leaks, so we'll go ahead and do that. Usually you have a little shut-off valve at the base of the toilet, right in the plumbing, and we'll go ahead and turn that on. I hear the water running now. We show it up here. That's a good sign. I'll just feel for leaks around the fittings. And I don't feel any leaks, so that's a good sign. Just give the toilet another shake just to make sure. The water should rise to a certain point, and then the float will stop it. And there we go, and the water stopped. So now I can go ahead and put my lid on it. Every toilet's got a different lid. This has the flush from the top, and it's a dual stage flush. So if you can flush it just a little, or you can flush it a lot, depending on what you're using the toilet for, I guess. So now let's go ahead and test it, see if it works. And there you go. All we have left to do now is put the lid on, and we will do that, and the toilet should be ready to go. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, now we'll go ahead and put the toilet seat on, and every toilet seat is different depending on what you get. The one we got here is a slow closer, so it doesn't actually slam down on you. And it has a couple of mountings that you screw onto the toilet, and then you can just press the toilet right onto these mountings. Okay, so basically there's two holes on the toilet base here, and those are to mount your toilet seat. So here's the two mountings. We'll put them over the holes, like so. Then there is a couple of stainless steel screws they usually give you. You can put those right in the back of the hole. And then they just give you a couple hand tightening nuts with some rubber washers. You always put the hard washer, whether it's steel or plastic, underneath so that the rubber doesn't get crushed. The rubber will go between the washer and the toilet bowl. So pretty much feed it from underneath, tighten it down. You might have to do some adjustments, some final adjustments, and tightening it after you put the toilet seat on. So I'll just leave them snug, not real tight. There's one, and now I'll just go ahead and put the one on the other side here. Just screw them up, and they're, like I said, I'm just gonna put them kind of snug right now so I can move them around, and then I'll do my final tightening. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put the toilet seat on it. There's a couple holes in the bottom of the toilet seat, one here, and that's what goes on to the mountings. A couple buttons here if you want to take them off. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this to go on here. There we go. And it takes a little bit of fiddling to get the toilet seat to adjust properly. Make sure it's it's even on the toilet. And then you can go ahead and tighten these up so that they don't move. There you go. Now the toilet seat is up. Everything lines up nicely. And like I said, this is a slow closing toilet seat, so it will go down on its own. And as that closes, that brings the end of this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully it helps. And looking forward to doing the next one.